Hey guys, it is Friday morning. Sorry about the annoying crazy bird in the background. Um, he is kind of loud, so he might pick up on the audio. But I can't even believe it's Friday. It's been a crazy week so far. I'm sure it's been crazy for you as well. So I'm going to start in a child's pose right now where you lean forward, you touch your forehead to the ground, and you're just going to reflect inward while you're in this position and just focus intentionally on being right here in this very moment. We're just going to reflect on ourselves, focusing on our breath work. Going to breathe in and release. Breathe in and let it out. And when you're in this grounded position, remind yourself that everything in this world is not perfect. It's not as it seems. Everyone has their own challenges and struggles that they go through, and yours might not be the same as another person. So proceed with grace in this world. So I was reading on Instagram on some post earlier, and it was a psychologist, and they posted about trauma, and someone had asked if yoga was a good way to handle it, and some people had responded that it could be challenging to cope with your trauma if you couldn't stretch well or something like that. But they were intentionally forgetting the fact that yoga is not about how well you can stretch or how well you can do a certain pose or any of that. It's about getting in tune with your breath work and your body and feeling what your body desires. So I've had some stuff going on this week in my life that has not been exactly fun. So it's been affecting me, I want to say physically and mentally. And what yoga does that's truly amazing is it guides you to the present moment. And that's basically what yoga is telling you to do. It's telling you to stop what you're doing, stop the chaos around, and look inward at your breath work. So we're going to start inhaling in, holding it at the top, and release. Inhale in, hold at the top, and release. Inhale in. Do it a few rounds out your mouth like waves crashing. And then hold at the top for a few seconds. And then release and just let everything out. And I know you saw I was doing some cat and cows, or you might still be in child's pose. But taking it back to the fact that yoga is so pure with what your mind and your body are calling you to do. If your mind is calling you to do a different pose or your body wants you to do something, listen to it. It doesn't necessarily have to be what I'm telling you or what someone else is doing. So I'm going to start in the downward dog position right now. Your hips are hiked high. Your gaze is toward your navel. And you're just going to feel this in the back of your legs. Just go up and down with your feet to stretch it out. Just feel how it feels today for the first time. And then I'm going to walk my hands back toward my feet, half lift, forward fold. And then I'm going to stand tall. And then I'm going to go side bend to the right. Feel that side stretch. Center, side bend to the left. And then I'm going to clasp my hands behind my back, mini back bend, forward fold, and just feel this stretch here while you're holding it. And then I'm going to put my left hand toward the ground, right hand toward the sky, gaze follows, and then switch sides, right hand toward the ground, left hand toward the sky, gaze follows. And then I'm going to walk it out, and I'm going to hold it in a plank to warm up my body. So as I was saying, everything in this world is not as it seems. So if you imagine perfection on the internet or on social media. It might not necessarily be like that, but we all have our own stressors and struggles to cope with. And the way that we cope with it will determine how we want to feel in our current life. And I say this because we can simply push it off, but it will resonate somewhere in our body, stress, trauma, any of that. And we're going to go to a vinyasa, upward dog, and then downward. And then it resonates somewhere else. So if you don't accept and process whatever trauma or emotion you have in your life, it will return. And it will show up somewhere. I know it sounds crazy, but it will show up somewhere in the craziest way. So it's always good to process and release whatever emotion or tension you have in your life. Forward fold, half lift. And then I'm going to go back to the plank pose. And processing trauma or emotion is not necessarily easy, but accepting that you have to go through the vulnerabilities, you have to admit that you're human and that you have feelings and that you have these types of emotions in your life is essential. And then back to the downward dog. And just do some breath work here. 3 breaths in and out. And then I'm going to step forward to a low lunge. This is going to stretch your inner thigh area. If you sit at a desk or you're driving all day, it really helps in this position. And just stretching it out. And, you know, your body carries a lot of tension and stress in your inner thighs. So it's essential to stretch out this area. And then from here, I'm going to go back to a downward dog, and I'm going to lift my right leg high. I'm going to flip my dog, lift your right hand overhead. Then I'm going to step my right foot through, pivot and plant my back foot, warrior 2, right hand toward the front, gaze follows. And then I'm going to go into a triangle pose. I'm going to straighten my right leg, point it toward the front of the room, left hand high toward the sky, gaze follows. And just hold it here and feel it in your left side body. And then I'm going to do a dragonfly twist, right hand toward the sky, gaze follows. And then seated half split. So you're going to bend your left leg, your right leg stays straight. Pull your toes toward you and lean over it and feel the stretch in your lower right leg. And then I'm going to go to a vinyasa. And I'm going to do those on the other side. So I'm going to lift my left leg high. Brahmasana. Lift your left hand overhead. Step it through. Warrior 2. Triangle pose. Gaze follows toward your right hand. Feel the stretch in your right side body. And then dragonfly twist. Seated half split. Feel the stretch. And then vinyasa. And then back to downward dog. Three breaths here. And then we're going to start again. This time, right leg high, half pigeon, bend it in front, lean over. Only go as far as you can go. And then you're going to lift your right leg back up toward the sky, step it through, warrior 2, triangle pose, right hand toward the ground, left hand toward the sky, dragonfly twist, seated half split, and then gate pose. So you're going to bend your left leg, right leg straight, right arm overhead, and feel the side stretch in your right side body. And then I'm going to come back forward and I'm going to do a reverse revolve. And my right hand's toward the sky. My left hand is touching the ground, and my gaze is sorted toward my right hand at the sky. And then I'm going to go into a vinyasa. And then do these poses on the left side. Left leg high, half pigeon. Lean over your bent left leg. And then left leg high, warrior two, triangle pose, dragonfly twist, seated half split, and then gate pose. You bend your right leg, your left leg goes out straight, lean, put your left arm overhead to feel the stretch in your left side body. And then reverse revolve. Right hand toward the ground, left hand toward the sky, gaze follows toward your left hand. And then vinyasa. And then back to downward dog. Take 3 breaths here. And then I'm going to walk my hands to the back of the mat. Half lift, forward fold, stand tall, Samasthiti, hands at heart center. And from here, I'm going to do a half bound lotus pose. This is great for stretching your inner thighs if you carry stress or tension here. So you're going to lift your right leg up, and then you're going to tuck it in your left hip pocket. Or if you cannot do this, you can do a modified where you bend your right leg over your left knee. And then some people can clasp and grab your foot from the behind. I cannot. And then you just lean forward, and your gaze is going to follow towards your navel, and you're just going to hold it here for a moment. This is going to stretch out your hip and thigh area, and it's just really amazing. If you're sitting all day, it helps increase the blood flow here. So hold it here. These poses are meant to be challenging, so if you fall out, just get back in or do a modification. Okay, and then I'm going to lean it out in front, step it down, and we're going to do the other side. Let's give your knees and legs some time to get some more blood flow. And then you're going to put your left leg tucked in your hip pocket. If you can do the bind, forward fold, or if you have your leg crossed over your right knee, do that and just lean forward. Or you could just sit with it crossed over. And just feel the stretch and the bend here. Gaze follows towards your navel. And then stand tall, lift your left leg out in front. And then forward fold, half lift. And then I'm going to walk it out to a plank pose. And we're just going to hold it here for a second. Your body should be super warmed up by now. And then I'm going to go into a side plank. So my right hand is down, my left hand's toward the sky. Gaze follows, and I'm going to hold it here for a few moments. It's strength building poses. You can do a modification with your right knee down, or whatever works in your body, or whatever your body is calling you to do. And just hold it here. So on these poses where we're focused, where we're forced to focus on our breath, it's so amazing what you think your body can't do that your body can do, because it's mind over matter sometimes. And now I'm going to switch and go to the other side. I'm going to lift my right arm high toward the sky. Gaze follows. My left hand is firmly planted. If you need to take a mini break in between, feel free. It's what your body is calling you to do inside. Hold this pose for a few moments. Just think about how You thought you couldn't do something before, and here you are doing it. Because your body is more capable of doing stuff that you thought you couldn't do. And so is your mind. Sometimes you limit yourself with what you tell yourself. And when we get past those challenges and realize we are capable of doing more than what we tell ourselves, then we eliminate these limitations we have in our life. And I know limitations are placed in because we thought we couldn't do something or we couldn't get somewhere. And yoga shows us and life shows us that we are capable of more. We just have to challenge ourselves and continue to discipline ourselves. And it can be hard, but it's essential for growth and overcoming challenges. So from here, now that I've stretched out my inner thighs, which this is a good stretch as well, it's kind of similar to a frog pose. I'm going to go into an inversion. Inversions are very good in your body. You can do a tripod, whatever your body is calling you to do. Today, I'm feeling very off, so not really sure if this is going to go well. But it feels so good to reverse your blood flow. I'm just leaning back to stretch. And then sitting back up. And I'm going to do an inversion one more time. Feel free to do what you feel your body wants you to do. So I'm going to go back. Man, it is so humid here. But anyways, back to child's pose. Give yourself a small break. And from here, I'm going to go into some yin postures. So I'm going to lay on my stomach. First of all, I'm going to stretch my upper back. This is such a great pose to strengthen your upper back. It's floor bow. And then from here, just take a break for a moment. And I'm going to lean my right arm out toward the side, palm down. You can change whatever height you want it at. And then you're essentially going to roll over. And this is going to cut off circulation on your right arm and increase new blood flow to that area. It's kind of a weird position, but whatever you can do. Some people can bend their leg. I mean, it's kind of challenging for me to do. But wherever your arm feels good for placement, this is great for stretching out your shoulder. And then you can reach your hand behind to clasp your arm and just stay here for a moment. In order for these yin postures to work in your body, you really have to give your body space and time to relax. So it's like a sitting still and stillness moment. Speaking of sitting still moments, I feel like sometimes we're placed in moments in our life where we are forced to be in stillness, and for extroverts it might not necessarily be exciting, but it forces us to look inward at where we can grow as a person or what we can do to overcome these challenges in life. And it forces us to relook at what direction we're going in life or what we could be doing. Not necessarily do we always do this when we have these mini breaks in our life, but I consider them gifts, because without these, life would be oh so chaotic and forced, and there would be no time for break. And it forces me to take a break. I mean, it might not necessarily be a good break, but I look at all the things I can do or I could do and potential avenues I could go to make things better or make changes in my life. Okay, now we're going to lean back down and then put your arm back at your side. And then I'm going to do the other side. So stretch your left arm out, roll over, use your right foot as a kickstand, and see with this arm, I can't even clasp my left arm. And it feels totally different on this side. And, you might even grow to like being still or in stillness or in silence. It's a different force type of love that you can't explain. And the one that can be alone in their thoughts is the one that I feel like can challenge themselves the best because they know what their mind is thinking and their mindset, and it's not being distracted from outside noises. So, if you are ready, you can roll back over, back onto your side, and I'm going to sit up and do a deer pose on either side. So, you're going to bend your right leg in front, your left leg behind, and you're going to lean over. And this is going to be working in your right thigh or hip area. At first, your body is going to try to not sit still, but then you're going to feel it at work. And then if you want to stay in that pose longer, feel free. I'm going to switch it and bend my left knee in front and then lean over. And then I'm going to sit up. And this concludes my practice. So if you joined me today, thank you for joining. If you're watching another time, thank you as well. I hope you guys go and have a great day and enjoy whatever you have to enjoy in life.